21 days without food and water. One piece of body covering cloth. There are only 2 naked people in the wilderness, where death stalks every second. Even a small mistake can bring them down. But the $100,000 reward is worth the risk. Can they overcome hunger and thirst, the cold nights cut out and dangerous creatures, or give up in pain? Witness the fiercest battle for survival, where the will is the most powerful weapon. Programs for people over 18 years old. If you're under 18, please don't watch it. Challenge: taking a male and a female to the wilderness to survive. Condition: no bring food and drinking water, not even wearing clothes. If the challenge is successful, can get 100,000 United States dollars prize. Female player appearance is Fairland. She's a horse riding stuntman. 2 years ago, she fell off a cliff about 20 meters high while filming a show. She's been given a total of 46 bones, and I'll never be able to walk again. But with my strong will, she stood up after a near-fatal fall. She took on this challenge to overcome herself. Male player is Kinnan. I think of myself as a reptile expert, and I know the effects of different types of babies. The reason you joined the program is to test what we've learned. The show car takes both to the challenge location. According to the program rules, 2 people immediately take off their clothes. It's better than each other. When unclothed, tigers are like pigs. After shaking hands greeting, both turn to go check the equipment. Kinnan chose to bring a mosquito net. Ferland carrying a knife. There's also an iron pot and a lighter. Prepared by the program, both of you open the map, check the route. There's only one water source on the map, so it's the only place you can choose to camp. They both quickly set off. On the way, both walk through the meadow, where poisonous snakes are everywhere, and through the mosquito-infested jungle. After 3 hours of walking, they finally reach the small water hole. The next thing is to build a shelter, but before it gets dark, because I'm in bed, Helen plans to build a bunk bed, separated from the ground. Finally used mosquito nets to wrap around Helen. Responsible for clear a space to build a camp. And Keenan is responsible for collecting 10 of the fire problem, but it took a long time. It didn't light a fire until evening. Night in the forest, the temperature plummets, plus the mosquitoes buzzing around. You're both so cold you can't sleep. It started to rain again in the middle of the night. You can only play together. Dramatic to keep warm. To the second day, Helen said that she basically hadn't slept all night. Even with mosquito nets, she's been bitten all over. Today's mission is to renovate the shelter. Remove the high bed and sleep directly on the ground. In this way, the nets can prevent mosquitoes from flying in. After finishing the work, the most important thing is the fire. But the heavy rain last night made the material wetter. You've tried many times but failed. Luckily Kinnan found a little dry plum fiber. Caught on the tree's branches, with dry materials, it's easier to start a fire. Your mental health has also improved significantly. The most important thing is to boil water to drink. You just need to find food for both. The 21-day challenge. It's not a problem at all. Time to day 3. They split up to go looking for food. The Fairland found no prey, but found a termite nest. It can produce smoke when it burns. This is a very useful natural mosquito repellent. On the Keir Kinnan side also found some clay. It also repels mosquitoes when applied to the body. It's unfortunate that today, they couldn't find anything to eat. But at night the payment still has to be done. Time to the 4th day. Kinnan got up early as a spear to go hunting. But you brought it into the forest. However, after walking along the path, I went to rounds. I still can't find anything to eat. There's no other choice, in addition to exploring deeper. What is it, doctor? Suddenly, Kinnan found that there's something moving in the front. He came closer and caught a big turtle. This South American turtle looks beautiful. You should review in front of the camera. And then you said this stuff can't be eaten, because it eats insects to protect this forest. Ferland can't do anything. When Ekanon said this, next to Kinnan, I found another turtle. You can just let this protein go. He survived until the 5th day on an empty stomach. Kinnan wants to go to the forest to find Na. But no Na was found. Lucky to have picked up some forest grass seeds. This fruit doesn't taste very good, but it's rich in starch that can replenish fitness. Kinnan just sits watching while friend is eating. You said you wanted to give up on your friend. You said you think, I can do a lot of things in the wild. I'm hungry most of the time. I don't know what it means to be persistent like this. Fandom advises that maybe this is real life in the wild. But Kinnan still said he didn't want to go hungry. up to 21 days, and then he called the program to give up. I see that I can't keep it. Helen can only say goodbye to you. Then she started crying, now alone in the lonely forest. Until the afternoon, you just adjusted the mood. Take a few deep breaths and hit the road with a knife. After walking around, she picked up 11 pieces of wood and returned to the shelter. It rained so hard that night. Her whole body trembled with the cold. It rained for the next few days. On the 9th day she was so hungry she couldn't get up. Fortunately, the rain finally stopped in the afternoon. She quickly seized the opportunity to go out, looking for food though. The prolonged hunger made her start to feel dizzy. Unless you can catch a large prey. Thank you. Lie down and rest for a while, but not in remission. Team 5 medical program fast to check the situation. Fortunately, after the test, there was no problem. It's just hypoglycemia from not eating for a long time. Blinking time to day 14. It's amazing, you haven't eaten a piece of food until now. But if you can't get your protein in time, you'll have to give up your life as Kinnan thought. Then you want to fish. Although there are no tools, but fortunately, you still have a mosquito net. Cut a piece of drapery and add branches to make a net racket. However, after a long struggle, finally, they didn't even catch any fish scales. On the 16th she found two agony berries by the stream. But it's drained so it can't eat anymore. But then, she realized that the fruit could fall into the stream. This means that the agony tree is not far from here. Go one more paragraph. She found a lot of Amazon fruit falling in front of her. This makes you very happy. In a short period of time, she collected 10 bags full. It started to rain again in the afternoon. But now, she had food in her hands and no longer worried. Suddenly she vomited in the middle of the night. I guess I ate a broken agony. She vomited all night and couldn't sleep well. Time to day 17. You're really disillusioned with the wildlife here. So she planned to bring the tools. Get to the evacuation point quickly. However, you are no longer physically fit. After walking for a while, she collapsed. Rest for a long time, before slowly getting up and building a shelter. In the afternoon, it started to rain. She took some banana leaves to cover the rain and began to rest. On the 19th, she was anxious to get water. I was fishing for a while. This time I caught 3 small fish. More than 10 days hungry. You don't have time to light a fire. Back to the shelter in bouts of live eating. A small fish provides to Cal. It started to rain again on the night of the 20th. She was a little worried that the rain wouldn't stop. When the evacuation is tomorrow, it's obviously going to double the difficulty of evacuation. If it rains, the sun comes out on the 21st. Check the route map again. The first, you'll have to walk 3 kilometers northwest through the jungle. Then walk another 2.5 kilometers to get to the evacuation point. Even though it's very slow, but with experience, after surviving a near-fatal fall. Finally, 5 hours later, she made it to the evacuation point. The program has prepared the horse for her to ride back, although this challenge is very difficult, but she persisted until the end. You absolutely deserve a $100,000 bonus. In the next section, people say when they're unlucky, even drinking water will choke in the throat. This challenge, it will definitely be new, your understanding of unhappiness. I thought about the drama at night. I can't believe he was finally taken to the hospital. In this life, things that are black are hairy. If the player is 42-year-old Lavra, she's a native of Bolero. You once killed a mountain lion. In the wilderness, this shaving hair is the best evidence. Besides, you're good at everything, from building runs to hunting and fire building. You are very confident. Wild place, there's no reason you can't survive. This time you join the challenge, just to get back the feeling of first love. The male player this time is a strong man. You're from West Cowboy Country. But there's a slick name, Chris. Breakbeat. In his 20s, he became a special agent of the National Reserve. In front of you, just piss me off. Maybe a second later, I'll offer you some candy. Building a shelter. Wild hunting and river fishing. These things are nothing in your eyes. Like the wilds of Africa. Makes me really a little scared. In front of you can see here it's a deserted place. Beyond the threat of mountain lions and venomous snakes. The sun can make your body run out of water. Daytime temperature can be up to 52 degrees, but it can drop to -10 degrees at night. It's very hot during the day but very cold at night. Upon arrival, both of you immediately take off your clothes and enter the challenge. Lavra said this is where she wanted to challenge. And Chris, before he left, his wife told him, if you're just hugging your teammates to get warm, it's okay. Not long after they met in the desert, I saw the strong man in front of me. Lavra was a little embarrassed and ashamed. Preparatory program tools for both. It's all very practical. It's flint knives and parachute cords. The map shows they're 3 kilometers from their destination. It's important to find the location of the water source in the desert. Because of the water, it's the most important survival material in the desert. Even the air in the African desert SA. It's also extremely dry. If you want it to rain, you have to dream. There's a scorching sun on top. 3 hours without drinking water, you can be a sun squirt. The sand and stones under my feet were hot. The feeling of stepping on your feet is no different than barbecue. Animal bones strewn all over the street. Both predictions, here wolves and mountain lions, are certainly a lot. Chris wants to catch some now to taste. Baby. Because wolves often choose to hunt in packs. Not long ago, there's a woman who camped in the African desert. As a result, he walked with cold feet. You've now entered the cactus bush. The desert is surrounded by spiny cacti. Thorns and thorns scattered all over the ground. Chris was stabbed along the way. Halfway through, Lavra suddenly saw a small stream. Even though it's in a state of near exhaustion, it also does not affect the people have free time to soak their feet. Laura's throat was smoking with thirst. But the water here can't be drunk directly. There may be a lot of bacteria and viruses in the water. Near the lagoon, there's a small, shady, dense forest. Position against the rock face towards the water spring. This is a feng shui place. This is the most ideal shelter of 2. The 2 of you immediately start assigning work. Lavra decided to dig a hole near the puddle. The stones on the ground can effectively filter the bacteria in the water. Chris stayed, collecting 10 materials to build the shelter. Just clear the branches on the ground. You can get your ass in. Then use wood to wrap it around. It's a simple wilderness shelter. It was built quickly. Over here Laura's hole quickly filled with water. But now the water is still cloudy. If you want to drink, you have to wait a while. After returning to camp, she saw the shelter that Chris had built. It is also full of joy. Next is to light a small fire. With fire, you can't just drink hot water. It can also keep warm at night. For the same exercise at night, it's not a long-term warming solution. Time to night, the desert SA temperature drops sharply. Even when there's fire, you feel cold. There's a sandstorm in the middle of the night. Not expected. The first night the desert taught you a lesson. Cold skin sand mate to people can only burn wood continuously. The ice cold air scared to people to roll their eyes. The next day, last night's sandstorm still shudders in my mind. To people haven't slept all night. There's not much wood in the camp now. Chris is going out to check the water hole. They hadn't drunk water in 24 hours. My mouth is dry now like glue. When you get to the water hole and see in the water there are still some impurities, they can still drink. This time you didn't bring the iron pot as a tool. In this environment, heating water is impossible. Chris doesn't care much anymore. You lie down in the water and drink. Water quality seems clean and tastes slightly sweet. Lavra next door looked hungry. You didn't have a bad reaction when you waited for Chris to finish drinking. Then you dare to drink it. The water problem has been solved. Next is to look for protein. But right now, something happened to Chris' leg. There are many wounds under the feet. Sharp, some serious places even blister. It's a man. Looking for protein is what you should do from the beginning. Like my feet have swollen. In the circumstances of this situation, I can only rely on Lavra. There's a lot of debris in the riverbed. You have to be very careful when you walk up there. If you fall down, it can dislocate an ankle or sprain it. Lavra plans to find a plant called Turila agave to eat. It usually grows in crevices. It's very common in desert areas, but it doesn't seem to be here. But she found a red berry nearby. Break it. It looks like a red strawberry. After eating, she picked a handful for her teammates, and then chopped the palm leaf next to it. It's a great material for building shelters. There's also a small bird nest on it. Laura's trip was a big win. Chris injured his leg and is still working. Even walking on the path still hurts, but you can also go nearby to get wood. I have to say this place is really barren. There was not much wood to burn. I can only cut the branches of this thorny tree. Cut off the spines at the base of the tree with a knife. Cut down a few more trees. Reinforce the shelter so that it will not be hit by sandstorms. At night, the flowers on the tops of these trees are edible. It just doesn't taste very good. It smells like Liu's umbrella. I collected 11 piles of thorns in one go and came back. It's just that the shoulder hurts a little bit with it. After all the hard work, I finally got the wood back to the shelter. You decide, build a windshield wall for shelter. The first is to use a rock to put a stick on the ground. Then just cut off the branches and cover them up. Even such a simple job. You are also so tired, it's almost impossible to stand up straight. I can't believe there's an unintended harvest on the ground. It's a very fresh protein. Maybe you accidentally stepped on it while you were working. This delicious food cannot be eaten. Just put it next to the fire and bake. Lavra also returned with her booty. Chris, show me your protein-rich lunch. Let me show you that I am broken, but not broken. Lavra also took out her bird's egg. Can be harvested, that way you don't have to worry about eating. Try to deliver porridge to get the bonus. Baby. This is an energy-boosting kidney tonic. Take one sip after eating. Laura's coming to the story with you tonight. To the night, to people who have just finished exercising are getting ready to go to bed. Chris suddenly heard a strange noise around him. This makes you scared all night and you can't sleep. Time to day 3. I remember last night still scared. Around the shelter, all traces of last night's wolves. Probably last night, both exercises make too much noise. He asked Lavra to speak less next time. Lavra grinned next to her teeth. The sun is very hot right now. You have no intention of going out looking for food. Happy birthday, Uncle Ho. It's true that men and women work together. I don't know how tired. Just a moment later, they brought back a large amount of wood. Lavra couldn't. You can sit still and then go out to try your luck. Not expected. The next second she found the Tikiela agave right on the mountain. Climb up to get down and pull up the roots. This tree doesn't look any different. After cutting off the leaves, only this little head can be eaten. But for those of you who've been hungry for days, it's definitely a good food for energy. Just dig a hole in the fire. Put the tickle tree in there. Just use the heat of a roast fire. The food will be ready in a few hours. It smells like chicken. Eat carefully and slowly. It will make your nose feel light. But overall, it's still very good. One such root provides as many calories as eating 2 bananas. After do people eat enough? Lavra was right-handed. Nick gave Chris a swallows cover. At the size, she felt it wasn't enough. Not suitable. Unlucky. Still say, even if you don't cover it, the camera can't see it. When do people think life in Africa is going well? Life gave you to a hard time. Too late at night. Lavra suddenly felt like going to shit. You don't have to think about it, you decide to go out. But the next second, outside came a cry of sorrow. Chris in the camp thought the wolves were coming again. He ran over and found Lavra lying on the ground, with a painful face. It turns out it's too dark outside, the road is not clear. As a result, Lavra fell to the ground. With just one fall, her leg was almost broken. The program's medical staff to check in. Realized the seriousness of the problem. Take Lavra to the hospital. This is a challenge that players face. The program cannot be responsible. Lavra is gone now. Chris fell into a state of grief. I don't even understand what happened. The team directly disappeared. Time to day 4. Wounds in the soles of the feet are getting worse. It hurts so much that you can't do heavy work. It's not about getting protein. There's no other way. Now you can only sleep in the shelter. Now I'm hungry and sleepy. I'm really upset. I saw wild horses around. I just want to go up and take a bite. My legs are not as long as a horse's. You can only look from a distance and do nothing. Time to Friday. Chris has been hungry for days. I decided to make a spear. Go out hunting for food. Although it seems like a hippopotamus, I'm very confident about it. It seems that God has received the prayer. The desire of. I've been out looking for a long time. Where the lagoon, spotted a baby na in black and white interwoven. It also looks delicious. I can't believe my legs are injured. It seriously interferes with your performance. Finally, she jumped into the water and ran away in the blink of an eye. And my legs hurt even more. Finally sat in the sad lake for a long time. God wants to send you food. But it doesn't seem to have been delivered. Time to day 8. Now I feel exhausted. The wound in my leg is causing me more pain. And alone in the wilderness. The wolves around come harassing every night. I finally decided to go home early. After a while, the program team is called to inform, I will retreat from the challenge. In this game, both players have claimed 7 defeats. If you go to the desert to survive, how many days can you survive? Say it out loud below the comments. Analysis and lessons of a will that determine survival. My friend almost died after breaking 46 bones. Has proven that spirit of resilience can overcome all adversity while patiently giving up because of impatience. She uses her mind to trap fish for fruit to survive. Lessons despite harsh circumstances. Don't give up. Make the most of your knowledge and resources too. Preparation skills are more important than fitness, Chris. Even if it's a 7-year-old spy. I don't know how to find food in the desert. Then Lavra mastered survival skills. But an unexpected accident knocked her down. Strength lessons are not enough. Learn how to light a fire. Know that food is safe. Everyone has a problem. While Lara and Chris support each other better. Lessons whether in the wild or in life. Effective cooperation will increase the chances of success for. Respect for nature. They release turtles because they know they're good for the ecosystem. Survival lessons don't mean destruction. Protect the environment so that it feeds you after 2. Advice from the program always carries the public. Basic tools: flint knife, water tank, priority clean water. Drinking dirty water can kill you faster than hunger. Stay calm. Fear and hurry lead to deadly mistakes. Learn before acting. Your knowledge of plants and animals can save your life. The wilderness does not forgive weakness. But if you're smart and brave enough, it'll give you a chance to survive. Do you dare to take on such a challenge? Please share your thoughts.